What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Goblins Den, Season 1, I think Episode 4. I've already lost track. This is a redo of a video I had made. I kind of had an unboxing in the video, and I had a pretty huge rant, and it was pretty bad, actually. It was just crazy. So I decided to redo the video, because it was nuts. I actually had a chance to calm down, and so I'll tell you the whole rant in a little more of a calm setting, I guess. Yeah, it's still gonna be fun, but yeah, I'll let you know. So the unboxing I got one comic from eBay. I was a little pissed off the way the guy sent it, because once again, well, I got it for $1, and it was $3 shipping. So $4, but you think for the extra, the $3, it would have been packed a little better. But this is how it came. Basically, what it was, the guy threw it in a bag, like a regular bag, and taped it all around one piece of cardboard and threw it in an envelope. And I'm amazed it didn't come destroyed, but it's actually in pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of spine roll, but it's Amazing Spider-Man number 190. With the Man-Wolf, which I always thought 194 was the first appearance of Man-Wolf, but the first page of this, it actually says, "Oh no, the Man-Wolf's got Jameson." So I don't know. And then 189 has him all wrapped up like a mummy. So 189's got to be the first Man-Wolf, or maybe this is the first look you get of him as a wolf. Don't know. Got to get the other copies to all the other issues down the line. That's all I got from eBay, and now on to my rant, which is still going to be a rant, but it's not going to be as maybe not as colorful. I don't know, because I threw around a lot of messed up language, I'll tell you. Sorry, but I guess it's also true. They say, like, certain things go a certain way. Alright, here's my rant. This is why I'm pissed off, and this is another thing. Like I said, I actually got a chance to relax and let it settle, and then anyway, I had mentioned a couple videos, back in Cracker, that I was done with Midtown. I was fed up with them because they just screw up a lot more than they used to. That's for sure. Always the wrong address or this or that, whatever. And it's funny because I've actually been going to them since like the late '90s, so I've been a customer of theirs for a long time, and I was just done. Like I just got to the point where I was just fed up with all their BS, and their customer service is like atrocious, and so I was done. And the problem is, when I decided I was done, I had already ordered Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3, Number 1, and I had ordered the a variant that comes out in June. I think it's the Midtown with the Black Cat variant or something like that. I forget what it was. So I'd ordered those. And the one thing that sucks is that now that I live farther away from Midtown, obviously, it takes a lot longer to get the books, so I always get the books a week later than everybody else. Like, it'll come, if I order them on Wednesday, the following week when, the new ones come out Wednesday, I'll just use Wednesday, I won't get the books until the following Tuesday or Wednesday. That's when they show up. Which I didn't really mind too much, because as long as I was still getting them, because it's kind of hard for me to get to comic book stores around here, because the closest one is Capitol Comics, and that's like about a half-hour away, give or take. But I don't always have a car, and when I do get the car, by the time I get there, most of the time the books are gone. So it's just like, and I didn't do a subscription with them because you have to have 3 titles, and it's too much money. And I could see why they do it. I'm not pissed at them. Like I said, I could see why they do it. They cover their ass that way, and that's perfectly fine. But that's the problem. Like, I have to go out of state to get books because there's just nothing. There's no way for me to really kind of get around all the time. And when I was living in New York, you know, it didn't matter. Like, I, you know, call up a mock time and be like, hey, you know what, you guys, can you hold this? Yeah, no problem. You know, or I call up Bailey's. You know, do you have this thing? Yeah, can you put it aside? No problem. So there was always, I had, you know, not really an advantage, but I had ways of, you know, if I told them I couldn't come till tomorrow, they'd be like, oh, no problem. You know, it's aside for you. So there was that. That was cool. So anyway, like I said, excuse me. Sorry, I try not to do that to the microphone, but sometimes. But yeah. So I was supposed to get Amazing Spider-Man #1, and it was supposed to come on Monday, and today is now it's now Tuesday. Like I said, I let it sit for a day. So Monday, I look in the mailbox, and I got my 190 Amazing Spider-Man 190, but no Midtown. I look it up, look the shipping up. It says it was delivered, but it was delivered to the wrong town. So I'm like, here we go again. They're sending it to the wrong address again. It's a whole big friggin' mess. So I was like, ugh. And just as I was about to get ready to contact them and say, you guys did it again, my future mother-in-law calls me. And she's like, oh, you know, I just want to let you know you got a package here. And I was like, I got a package. And she's like, yeah. She goes, it's from Midtown. And I'm like, the dumbass has sent it to my mother-in-law's house. Which is, it's okay. Like, I wasn't too pissed at that. I'm like, alright, at least, you know, it's somewhere where I know where it is. I was like, they screwed up the address, but, you know, what the hell. At least, like I said, at least it went to somewhere where I know. And, hey, Giz. He's been weird. But my future mother-in-law goes, but there's a pretty big problem with it. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, what? And she goes, well, I was coming out, and the mailman pulled up, and I saw him. I didn't know what it was at first, and he took the package and folded it completely in half to shove it in her mailbox because he didn't want to walk up to the door, you know, because her mailbox is right where right by the driveway. And rather than him put it to the side or walk to the door to drop it off because it wouldn't fit, he folded it completely in half and shoved it in the mailbox. She's like, I ran out pretty quick. She goes, but it's pretty damaged. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Lazy postal workers, man, lazy. But if you've ever seen Midtown Comics, when you buy one comic, it's this piece of cardboard that they basically throw it in. Like, there's just, it's not that it's not sturdy. I mean, it can be, because the sides of it can be pretty solid, so it doesn't get banged around. And then they put like one little flimsy piece of cardboard that's almost like a piece of paper in there with your comic, and that's supposed to protect it. But a lot of times, if you get any kind of weather like rain, it destroys that thing to no end. But whatever. So I said to her, I was like, it was folded completely in half. She's like, yeah. She goes, it's folded completely in half. But she's like, that's not really the big problem. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, what? And she's like, well, the package that it was in is completely, you know, ripped up, you know, shredded. And she goes, and the comic is basically barely, you know, in the package. She's like, it's like hanging out. It's all ripped up. The corners are missing. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So the book is completely destroyed. So I was pissed. I was really, really pissed off because I was having a really crappy day, and that just basically put the little ice on the cake there, you know, little icing on the cake, or the final nail in the coffin. And I was just like rabid. I was like, because there's things you don't do. You don't mess with Spider-Man comics when it comes to me. You just don't mess with them, and you don't mess with Batman comics when it comes to me, or X-Men really. But any other one I would have been like, yeah, okay, you know. But I was actually just so fed up, and I was just tired of always taking the hits and, you know, not getting anywhere, and it's just annoying that the universe was just kicking my ass, and it's just like, here's another one for you, you know, here's another problem. So, most of my friends actually go to Midtown a lot. They order from them. And, they never have problems. I seem to be the only one who gets problems from Midtown. So I was like, alright. I was like, this is nuts. So I figured I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see what they say. Because I'm waiting for them to give me the big FU. Which is basically what they did. The stupid thing, I can't stand contacting them on their online page because you got to go through this stupid chat thing, and it's annoying, and they never seem to be that helpful anyway. It's always some stupid answer that they have, and it's always your fault, and blah, blah, blah. So I figured, I was like, you know what? Sorry, we're drinking Coke right now. Product placement. That's right, Coke. I want free stuff. I gave it a shot. I went on there. I even have all my info on it. Who I talked to, what time I talked to them, the ID number, all that stuff. So I talked to the guy, and he's like, yeah, he's like, how can I help you? I was like, well, I'm a little annoyed. And he's like, I'm sorry to hear that, right? I was trying to be nice, because, you know, it's just, you're better off being nice and just letting it go. And he's like, well, what's the problem? What can I, how can I help you? I'm sorry you're annoyed. And I was like, well, honestly, I was like, I had ordered Amazing Spider-Man #1 from you guys, and I was like, and once again, you sent it to the wrong address. And I was like, this is like literally the 6th time in the past like 2 months that you've sent it to the wrong address. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah. I was like, but luckily it went to my mother-in-law's address, so I know where it is. So I was like, so it's not like that's the big problem. Oh, okay. Well, what's the problem then? I was like, well, the problem is the book came severely damaged. And this guy goes, well, how was it damaged? Like, what happened? And I was like, well, the postal worker folded it completely in half and put it in a mailbox. I was like, which I understand isn't your fault. I was like, that's the post office. I was like, they shouldn't have folded it in half. I was like, but that's what they did. I was like, but that's not the problem. I was like, the problem is the container it was in, the package was completely shredded. The book was barely, in there, it was hanging out. I was like, it's all, ripped and it just shot. I was like, it looks like it got soaked. And I was like, the whole thing is just destroyed. So this guy says, well, that's really not our problem. It's not our fault. It's the post office. They should have, put it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but I was like, the package was destroyed before the guy folded. I was like, so the folding thing isn't your fault. I get that. But everything else, well, we sent everything out perfectly and everything's, there's no problem on this end. And I was like, well, I just want to know what you're going to do. I was like, because I don't want the book. I was like, because it's destroyed. I was like, what am I going to do with it? So he tells me that I have to take photos of the book. I have to get in contact with their info department, send the pictures to them, and then they'll tell me whether or not they're going to give me a refund or a new book or whatever it is. So I said to him, I was like, well, I don't have the book in my possession. It's at my mother-in-law's house, which is about an hour and some change away. Yes, kids, I'm telling them the story. He likes to protest. And he likes to throw in his 2 cents because he was pretty pissed off. I'll tell you about that later. So the guy's like, oh, well, that's convenient. And I'm like, wow. I was like, now you pissed me off. Now you've done it. And I was like, well, it wouldn't be convenient. I was like, I would have the book. I was like, had you sent it to the right address? Now I'm arguing with this guy on the computer. And he's like, well, sir, he's like, I told you what you have to do. And unfortunately, if the book is destroyed, as you say, and then with like a, kind of like a thing to it, like, oh, as you say, he's like, we still need the photos of the book. He's like, and then you have to pay for the shipping to send the book back to us so we can verify it. Then we'll decide whether or not to send you a new book. I was like, well, how do I get a refund? Oh, well, that's a different department, and you're probably not going to get a refund. I'm like, this is just unbelievable. So I get off the thing with him, and now I'm steaming, because now I'm more and more pissed off. Like, it just keeps growing, and I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So I was talking to my friend Richie, and he's like, yeah, I've never had really any problems with them. He's like, I canceled an order from them one time, and I wound up getting the order anyway, and a refund, so he's lucky with Midtown. And I was like, not me, man. I was like, I'm very unlucky when it comes to Midtown. And a couple of my friends are just like, wow, like, I've never heard such, problems. But then again, they've never had to return damaged book or anything like that. So, now I was pissed, because it just seemed like this guy was just kind of like, fuck off. Sorry for the language, but we're trying to keep it, light. So I decided to call them. I called them once. I get hung up on. I'm like, alright. Okay. I call again. I get, hello, Midtown Comics. And I was like, yeah. Oh, hi, please hold. So I'm like, okay. So I'm put on hold. They got music going. 15 minutes I'm waiting on hold. I was clocking myself. I even wrote down 15 minutes. I'm waiting on hold. They hang up on me. Now I'm getting even more pissed off. I call back for the third time. I finally get somebody. And I was like, how can I help you? I was like, yeah. I was like, I have a problem with a shipment. Oh, well, you have to go online. I'm like, I don't want to deal with online. I want to deal with a person. And I was like, and I want to deal with somebody who's in charge. I was like, because I'm very pissed off. And I was like, I'm just, you know. So this guy's like, all right, hang on a sec. He's like, let me get a manager or something. I forget who we went to get there. So I'm waiting on hold again for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. I get hung up on. I was like, you got to be kidding me. At this point, I was about ready to almost like crush the phone in my hand, and I was like, a word of advice to anyone watching this who has to deal with customers or anything like that. I've dealt with them. You know, every job I've had was basically in retail, so I know how to deal with customers. Never hang up on somebody. If you put them on hold, that's fine. If by some chance you hang up them by accident, that's a different story. But when you keep doing it, you're just pissing the person off more and more, and it's going to be worse for you in the end, believe me. So, I called back for the fourth time, or whatever amount of times it was, and I get somebody. I said, listen, you hang up on me again, I swear to God I'm coming down there. And this guy's like, what? Like, and then I was like, that could be as a threat. I was like, I got to calm down. And I was like, I've had a problem with, no, go online. I'm like, I'm not going online. I explained this to the last person. I want to talk to somebody in charge. I'm fed up with you guys. You are officially pissed me off to no end. I was like, you hung up on me 3 times already. I was like, your online sucks. I was like, your customer service sucks. And I was like, I want to talk to somebody who's going to be able to help me, and I want to talk to somebody now. So the guy's like, hang on. I was like, don't hang on. I was like, I swear to God. I was like, if you put me on hold, I was like, I'm going to flip out. And I was like, especially if you hang up on me. So I'm waiting 10 minutes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm getting more and more pissed off. I finally get a manager or whoever the hell it was. I wrote it down. I don't even know who the hell I even talked to. I was just like writing stuff down. I was in such a blind rage. He's like, how can I help you? I was like, listen, I'm pissed off because you guys once again sent my comic package to the wrong address. Oh, we're sorry about that. Have a nice... I'm like, don't hang up. I was like, you know. And I was like, I'm pissed off not only because of that, but the package is completely damaged. And your online thing told me that I have to take photos, and then you're going to tell me whether or not you're going to send me a new book or whatever it is. Yeah, that's how it works. I understand. I was like, but how do I get a refund on my ship? Oh, we don't refund the shipping, and we don't refund the book. And he's like, we just send you another copy. I'm like, you scumbags. He's like, that's if it's damaged enough for us to send you another copy. And he's like, what happened? So I told him the whole story. He's like, well, that's not our fault, so we wouldn't send you another copy. I'm like, you know, and this is when I lost it. This is when I flipped out. And even Gizmo was frightened because I was just so pissed off. And I was like, you know, you fuckers are just, you know, and this guy's like, sir, he's like, please, you know, he's like, we don't need the I was just like, you know, I was like, you guys are unbelievable. I was like, I take the hits from you guys all the time whenever I ordered stuff. I was like, I've been a customer since the late 90s, and, you know, I was kind of throwing all that stuff in there. I was like, you know, and I was just going over and over this, and this guy's like, well, sir, I don't know what you wanted me to do about it. You know, you're in North Carolina. And I'm like, oh, because I'm in North Carolina, I don't care, I don't matter. I was like, that's fine. I was like, let me tell you something. I was like, I have about 20 or so friends who also have friends who have friends that go to your store. I was like, so you got about 100 people that you're about to lose as customers. And once you mention that they're going to lose money, their whole attitude turns around. Well, sir, let's not get out of hand. What's the, you know, I'm telling the guy what's going on. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I want a refund on the book. I was like, I have no problem sending you the photos. And I was like, but the problem is the damn thing is at the wrong address that you sent it to. I was like, so it's going to take time for me to get the book and then send you the pictures. Oh, that's perfectly fine, sir. And I was like, and then you want me to pay for shipping to send it back to you just so you can maybe send me a book back. So this guy's like, well, I don't understand the problem. That's our policy. I'm like, yeah. I was like, your policy sucks. And I was like, but, you know, I was like, the picture thing I'm not pissed off about. I was like, what I'm pissed off about is that I'm completely unhappy with your services. I was like, you guys are completely incompetent. I was like, you don't know what address to send anything to. I was like I said, this is like the 6th time in the past 2 months you sent it to the wrong address. I was like, now the book's damaged, and basically it's my fault that the book is damaged. Well, it's not our fault. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So basically, it went absolutely nowhere. So, never got the book, because I haven't been able to even get to my mother-in-law's house to get the damn thing to see how much damage it actually is. So I had called, while I was texting my fiance, I was like, this is what happened. She's like, oh, God. She knows just kind of like to let it, don't, say anything kind of thing, because it just pissed me off more. And she's like, all right. She's like, what I'll do is, because she works pretty much like 5 minutes away from Capitol Comics. So she's like, all right, when I get out of work, I'll go by, I'll see if I can find the book. So I said, all right. Now this is why sometimes my ear is so itchy today. I don't know what that means. Somebody's talking to me about me, I guess. This is why it's just odd how sometimes things, I guess, happen for a reason. Who knows? She knows how pissed off I was, and that's why I love my fiance. She gets it, she gets my whole collecting and how much I love comics and stuff like that. And I've taught her well on other things, which I'll tell you. And my friends, all my friends are awesome. When I told them what was going on, they basically said, say the word, we'll never order from Midtown ever again. So I wasn't lying when I said there's a lot of people that I know that go there. And my friend's like, oh, what book is it? What is it you lost? We'll get it for you and we'll send it to you. So my friends are awesome. Like I said, it's great to have friends like that and have my fiance that will go above and beyond. I mean, it sounds really stupid. It's a damn book. It's not like it's a person that or something. You know what I mean? But to me, it's important, and everybody gets that. And it was really cool that everyone just kind of went, hey, you know what? We'll find it. It's not that hard to get. It's no big deal. Which I calmed down. I was like, all right, I'm good. Gizmo sensed how pissed off I was, and Gizmo had his ears back the entire time, and he's just like, he had that look where it's just like, send me to the comic book store and I will destroy them. And I was telling my fiance, like, we have to mail Gizmo out there and he'll destroy all their wiring. But this is why I said this is why sometimes I guess things happen for a reason. So my fiance went to the comic book store, and she's like, send me a photo of what it is, what it looks like. And I was like, well, it's, I told her what it was. She's like, I know it's Spider-Man, but, what does it look? So I want to get the right one, because she's like, God forbid I get the wrong one. So she went there, and she actually was able not only to get the Amazing Spider-Man, but I also got more free comic books. She got me the Power Rangers, which is interesting, has gold dust on the back there. Interesting. She got me the Power Rangers. She got me a Valiant Universe handbook, which is basically almost like a Marvel Update Edition kind of thing, where it just shows everybody and what their powers are and everything. She got me the Sonic the Hedgehog flip book, which basically you flip it, it's got Mega Man, Sonic. And she got Transformers vs. G.I. Joe, as well as Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck. So I got all those free comics on top of the other ones I got, so hey. And she got me the Amazing Spider-Man #1, which is a really, really thick book. I got a chance to read it last night, and it was actually pretty good. I liked it. A couple of my friends read it, like, it sucked, I hated it. I'm like, hey, I'm not a fan of Ramos. I think his artwork kind of blows. But, it was a good book. I thought it was cool. It had a lot of stuff in there. It had, the first story was basically how Peter Parker's adjusting. Then they had a thing with Electro, and then they had another thing with the Black Cat, how she's in jail and she's getting ready to, plot against Spider-Man. And then it shows that apparently Peter Parker wasn't the only one who was bit by a radioactive spider that day. But another thing that's kind of interesting is that, which I guess it doesn't really piss me off, but it's just like they're trying to make, you can see it, they're trying to make the Black Cat like Catwoman now. She's got like a whip. It's just crazy. But very cool. That's why I love my fiance. She went above and beyond and got that, and my friends are awesome. So yeah, but Midtown is basically dead to me. I don't ever want to even, like, I kept to my word. I haven't bought anything from them. But like I said, I did the advance order for Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and the variant. And quite honestly, I'm at the point where I want to cancel the variant, but I'm like, it's the damn variant that I wanted. I was like, I really liked it, and it's only through Midtown. And I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, that's how they get you. But, like I said, to my point, I never ordered anything from them since. And once I get that variant, they're done. Like, I'm erasing everything from them because I'm fed up with them. I'm still gonna send them pictures, and I'm gonna try to get a refund. Damn, itch. Wow, don't go away. Still gonna get a refund from them because it's kind of sucks that I paid $6 for the Spider-Man. This was $6, $5.99 for this thing, and then $5.99 for the one that was destroyed, and then, you know, $4 shipping for that one. So it's kind of, you know, it's out there. But I figured I'd give it a whirl. But I got the book, so that's cool. I do have a shipment coming around from eBay. I know I'm trying to trying to cut off completely, actually, and I'm doing little by little. So my fiance's kind of cool with that. She's like, all right. I got these books really cheap, so that's really the reason why I was kind of okay. I'll get them, you know, because they were dirt cheap, which I'll tell you if they ever show up, because they're already a week late. Like I said, it's been that kind of month already, and it's only the beginning of May. So we'll see what happens with that. So I got 2 books from one guy, so that's one package coming around, and the next Midtown catastrophe isn't until June. So, but the other thing is, I know everyone keeps saying, well, just order from another comic book store, get blah blah blah. I did get my Superior Spider-Man 31, which I showed a while ago. I got that from my comic shop, or Lone Star Comics, whichever you want to call them. Which they're not bad. They're sometimes some of their stuff is a little high priced. Like some of their books are just like, it's like, wow, really, that's what you're charging? The problem I have with them is their shipping. Their shipping is way too expensive. When I was living in New York, it was almost like $9 for shipping. It was like, I think it was like 8 something, like $7.99 or what, it came out to 8 something. Now I'm living in North Carolina, which I'm closer to Texas, where it's actually located, and they still charge you $8 shipping. Yeah, which is kind of crappy that if you buy like a $2 book, you're spending $8 on shipping. You're almost spending $10 for a $2 book, which is a little insane. But another thing besides that, Midtown actually, when I talked to the guy, I forgot to mention this. He's like, oh, you know, again, sir, we're sorry that your stuff is damaged. I'll just make a note from now on. Any shipment you get, we'll put it in a box. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So that was their thing. That now they claim that whatever shipment I get will be in a box rather than that cardboard crap. Whatever. I was like, they're just dead to me. I don't even care. Like I said, once I get this variant thing, I'm erasing my account. I'm getting rid of all that stuff. And if I really feel like it, and if I tell my friends, which I don't know. I don't want them to just, kind of, it's cool to have friends that would do that for you, but I don't want them to ruin their experience, I guess. Just because I'm having shit luck with Midtown for the past couple of years. But it's still nice to know that if I just went, Midtown's going down. No more customers for them. But anyway, I've rambled on enough as it is. And like I said, thank God this is toned down. Because the other video was just like, it was Loki Unleashed. It was crazy. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the new videos on the Goblin's Den, and please like, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever. Hell, if you want, I'd love to hear if anyone anyone has any comic book horror stories. Hey, you want to write them down, put them in the comment thing. If not, if you want to make a video about it, that's really cool. Make a video, let me know, because I'd love to watch it and hear. Maybe that I'm not the only one that has problems with comic book stores from time to time. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. And it's not the size of your key that matters. It's what you have in it. Later, everyone.